Hi, I'm Stuart Hines. Everywhere I go, people always ask me how to make their overtones louder. I know what they mean, of course. They can hear the overtones they're bringing out, but they sound very faint compared to the fundamental pitch. In this video, I'll demonstrate how to maximize the effect of the overtones you're bringing out. Notice that I said bringing out and not producing or creating. It's important to remember that overtones are an intrinsic part of every musical sound. It's not a mystical or magical effect. We use overtone singing techniques to bring out particular partials in the harmonic series of the fundamental note. Stronger overtones are important in regular singing too. Every singer wants that resonant ring that comes from strong overtones. I'll just briefly mention here that any singer can benefit from the use of spectrum analysis software to graphically visualize the amplitude of the overtones in the voice. When used with the exercises in this video, the graphics provide good feedback on how effective your vocal tract adjustments are when bringing out overtones. You can see what's working and what isn't. One more thing before we start. For the purposes of this lesson, I want you to keep your vocalization simple and relaxed. No effort or artistry, no affectation or modulation of any kind in your voice, popular styles, classical, whatever. Don't do anything to make your voice beautiful or expressive or stylistic or cultured in any way. The modulations of the vocal tract you use to achieve your characteristic sound might get in the way. So try your best to bypass all that just for now, and you can add it all back later after you have your overtones sounding strong. All right, let's get started. The first thing you need to do to bring out overtones more strongly is to make sure you know where the soft palate is and how to direct the energy of your singing to that spot. That's true of regular singing as well as overtone singing. Some people do this naturally, but if you aren't one of those people, it can be difficult to change the way you sing. Not sure where the soft palate is? It's very easy to find using the NG consonant, ing. Sustain a relaxed E vowel and break it up with an occasional NG consonant. Ing, 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 ing. Feel it? Feel the back of the tongue rise on the consonant and fall on the vowel. The location where the back of the tongue touches the roof of the mouth is the soft palate area. If you think of your vocal tract as a room, the soft palate's on the ceiling near the back. Now that you know where it is, sustain that ing and concentrate on increasing the vibration in the soft palate area. Don't think about bringing out overtones yet, just feel the vibration. Try raising the back of the tongue more and tilting the head forward and lowering your chin a little. Feel the vibration. Feel the soft palate area lifting and rising as if the sound's going out the top of your head. When you sing, you always want to feel the sensations and vibrations here in the head, not in the throat. Concentrate on keeping the vibration of the vowel sound in the same vocal tract location as the ing. Focus your mind on that area, but don't force. Excessive effort actually inhibits vibration. I'm not speaking metaphorically here. I'm talking about a physical vibration like you would feel if touching an appliance or a machine with a motor that's running. Feel that kind of vibration in the soft palate area. Remember, sound is vibration. I always use ings when warming up my voice for any kind of singing. It's the best way to feel and hear that the soft palate's vibrating nicely and making strong resonance in my voice. I have a good video about warming up on YouTube that you can check out. Next, use that same technique to focus on bringing out discrete overtones. The E vowel will bring out the highest pitched overtones. You'll hear a high-pitched overtone come out with the vowel and go away on the consonant. Hear it? Then lower the pitch of that overtone by very slightly lowering the tongue and firming the lip rounding, in a narrow range at first, and then expand. Listen. You'll have to gradually lower the tongue and jaw as the overtone pitches descend, but don't let the focus and vibration go away when the tongue moves down for lower overtones. The extreme bright sound of the E vowel will also lessen as you move to lower overtones, but the vibration at the soft palate should remain strong. Making the transition from high to low-pitched overtones and vice versa is one of the most important skills in overtone singing. Do this exercise on other fundamental pitches too. Notice that on low fundamentals, the highest overtones are so close together that they sound like a slide. And on higher pitched fundamentals, the overtones sound more like a scale. As soon as you're able to bring out a nice range of overtones on any fundamental, improvise little melodies of overtones or sing any tunes you know. You'll get better a lot faster if you're making music. Bringing out overtones effectively is mostly about head singing and proper vocal tract positioning. There's no single position that works for all overtones. You have to constantly adjust. Unlike on a pipe organ, where every note gets its own pipe of the correct size and shape, we have only one pipe and must adjust its size and shape to bring out different pitches. These adjustments will become second nature with practice, and that's why singing more often helps to develop fluency. Every time you bring out overtones, even mindlessly, your brain gradually learns what position is required in various musical situations. And that's when fluency starts to happen. You can begin to concentrate on music and not technique. A quick reminder before we proceed. There's a tendency when something is not sounding good, for whatever reason, to make a greater effort to try to fix it, and that never helps. If something isn't working, back off and reset. Remember, trying harder does not help. Finding the correct position does. All the vocal tract adjustments we make in overtone singing can and must be done with no more effort than one would use to pronounce different vowels when speaking. For the rest of the lesson, I'll demonstrate some basic vocal tract positions for low and high-pitched overtones, describing the adjustments I make to bring out each overtone most effectively. I'll give you some exercises, but more importantly, I'll give you some real music to sing. Okay, we'll start with a mid-high fundamental pitch for maximum energy, but not so high that it becomes strenuous. Then we'll do similar work with a lower pitched fundamental later. We'll find the optimal vocal tract position for bringing out overtones throughout the range and with a range of fundamentals. But first, here's an easy way to find a good starting position. Without sound, in a relaxed manner, place the tip of your tongue on the top of the mouth at the ridge behind the upper teeth. Then raise the entire tongue so that all the edges are touching at the ceiling of the mouth and inside the upper teeth, but still relaxed. Think of the tongue as creating a gentle seal on the roof of the mouth. You can test that seal by vocalizing. No effort at all is required to maintain that position. Then make a small opening by slightly dropping only the tip of the tongue, and a faint overtone will come out. Keep the sides of the tongue inside the upper teeth when the tip lowers. Concentrate the energy at the soft palate, throw in a few ings, and round the lips to help you focus the sound. This position will work for all but the lowest pitched overtones, which require the singer to lower the tongue and jaw to bring them out. More on that later. We're going to start with a single note and make the sound as good as possible by experimenting with some various vocal tract adjustments, then extend from there to other overtones, higher and lower. First, take a big open mouth inhale and feel the vocal tract expanding in the back and the soft palate lifting. Focus your mind on that area. Then sing a mid-range note with fifth partial. I'll sing G or A, but women should choose a higher pitch. Just make sure it's easy and strong. And maintain that same open vocal tract position. Feel the vocal tract expanding in the back and the soft palate vibrating. Focus your mind on that area. Once you have it, take inventory of your vocal tract position. The sides of the tongue should be lightly touching inside the upper teeth. To help focus and improve the sound of the overtone you're bringing out, try the following vocal tract adjustments. The first and main thing is always focusing on the soft palate area, making sure it's maximally energized and vibrating. Also, expand the vocal tract in all directions, as if yawning or blowing up a balloon in your mouth. Extend the rounded lips forward and tighten the corners of the lips. Tilt the head and lower the chin a little bit. Move the tip of the tongue slightly forward and back. Make sure you have strong breath support all the time, but mostly focus on that soft palate area. This is essentially the basic vocal tract and tongue position for overtone singing. Once you've found your best sound you can make, repeat it several times with a breath in between, making sure each new attack finds that overtone position immediately. Remember, you can inhale without changing vocal tract position. Next, we'll learn what adjustments are needed when overtones ascend or descend from the first note. Return to that same note with fifth partial. First, hear it in your mind, then sing it without hesitation. It should be easy by now since you've been singing it for a while. Once you have your optimal sound, move up one step to the sixth partial by slightly raising the top of the tongue. Optimize its sound and then return to the fifth. Repeat and add additional steps, making sure that each note sounds as good as the first. As you ascend and the tongue rises, you have to gradually tighten the lip rounding with extra firmness at the corners of the mouth. Overtones will still sound without doing this, but they'll sound better if you do, with greater amplitude and focus. I also move the jaw forward for the highest overtones. This provides a little more vocal tract space when the tongue is high. If the head voice we've been working on is new to you, you'll need to constantly check your positioning for soft palate vibration and vocal tract expansion, along with the tongue work. If you detect the vibration weakening, reset and restart. Now, return to that same note with fifth partial. First, hear it in your mind, then sing it without hesitation. Now we'll descend one step at a time from fourth to third partials, and maybe second if you can. These steps are larger than the higher ascending steps, so the movement of the tongue is greater. As you descend, you'll have to extend and protrude the lips forward in addition to the lip rounding, and also lower the tongue and jaw. This increases the size of the vocal tract to allow for lower pitches. Think organ, large pipes equal low pitch. Repeat these exercises on different fundamental pitches. The piece Sentimental in my book, Making Music with Overtone Singing, is a perfect musical vehicle for practicing these techniques. You should also improvise a lot and make up your own tunes. Now let's explore the differences when bringing out overtones on lower pitched fundamentals. Women have been singing in a low register all along, so this is nothing new to them. With fundamental pitches in the lower part of your range, there are three main things to keep in mind. First, you'll be using more high partials, which are closer together, so tongue movements are smaller. Second, the lower the fundamental pitch is, the less energy and amplitude you can muster. Weak fundamentals produce weak overtones. This is one of the reasons that warming up the voice is so important. Third, to bring out the lowest overtones on any fundamental, you sometimes have to use a lowered tongue and jaw position to make the vocal tract big enough to allow them to sound. What does not change is the focus on soft palate lifting, feeling the energy of your singing at the ceiling, not in the cellar. You always want to feel the vibration at the soft palate. Bringing out the highest overtones on low fundamentals is one of the more difficult skills in overtone singing, for all the reasons just given. Let's see what we can do about it. I'll sing a low note, but not too low, D, 10th partial, and use the same vocal tract adjustments as before to find the best sound. You can also lower the jaw to make a bigger space. When you do that, the tongue has to move back just a little, but don't lower it. Keep the sides of the tongue touching the upper teeth. When the jaw is up, the top of the tongue sets the opening for the overtone. When the jaw is lowered, the tip of the tongue is placed to create the opening that creates the overtone. To descend to lower overtones, only slight tongue adjustments necessary at first, but as you go lower, the lip rounding gradually needs to move forward, and at some point you'll have to lower the tongue to allow the overtones to sound. For me, on this fundamental pitch, the tongue drop happens around the 5th partial. The song Rockin the Folk in my book Making Music with Overtone Singing is a great musical vehicle for practicing high overtones on a lower fundamental. Let's look at one phrase from the second verse using partials 10, 9, 8, and 6. Two good skills are addressed in this phrase. First, extending the rounded lips forward and lowering the jaw a little to bring out the 6th partial. Also, skipping from 8th to 6th partial in a legato manner without the 7th partial sounding. This piece is in the key of D for men. Women will have to transpose up. You can try A, but that's still pretty low, and even at that fundamental pitch, the 10th partial will be high. If you can't do it without great effort, raise the fundamental pitch a step or two higher and just use the highest overtones you can bring out. To bring out the lowest pitched overtones on fundamentals of any pitch, one must protrude the lips and often lower the jaw and tongue to make the vocal tract big enough. When bringing out the lowest overtones, the back of the tongue is completely separated from the upper teeth. On low fundamentals, you'll likely also hear the 3rd partial come out too. For me, overtones pitched below C5 or so require that adjustment to allow the overtones to sound good. For the high position, think oo vowel. For the low position, think o vowel. Ooh, oh, ooh, oh. It's good to practice making the transition from raised jaw to lowered jaw, going from higher to lower pitched overtones, and vice versa. This is a skill you'll constantly use in overtone music. There you have it. If you want to bring out overtones more strongly, remember these things. Always focus the energy of your singing in the soft palate area. Feel it buzz. It's not a subtle effect. If you're not feeling it, you're not doing it right, and your overtones will never be strong. Enlarge and relax the vocal tract, especially in the back, as much as possible for each note. Use lip rounding and firm the corners of the lips to focus the overtones. Maintain strong breath support, and always use mind's intent over physical effort. Hear the music in your mind, and it always comes out right. Keep going.